on PrizePicks for Monday, July 17th. Before I get started, link is in the description below. You can sign up for PrizePicks there, or you can use promo code TUFF to sign up. 100% deposit match. Discord link in the description. The main server is completely free. We also have that Patreon link in there as well, where I do post all the plays that I'm making on PrizePicks for each given sport that I do play. Again, I'm not a gambling expert, and this is not financial advice. Simply just plays I'm personally looking at making. Hopefully give you guys some insight and analysis to then make your own player prop decisions here. But let's get right into it, you guys. WNBA board, I was going to do one WNBA, one MLB, but they are lagging on this WNBA board. I'm sure a lot of you guys who like to bet on WNBA can see this on PrizePicks at the time of this video. Still not up yet. We only got points on the board. So I'm doing two MLB player props here for tonight's slate. We don't have a massive slate, and I do want to reiterate that I don't love this slate overall, right? We don't have a huge slate, so there's a ton of teams off tonight. And just overall, the value on the board is not really there, in my opinion, guys. So going to be betting lightly in general tonight on this lighter MLB day. Hopefully, we can get these WNBA props on the board rather quickly. But I got two plays that I'm targeting. Let's not waste any time. Let's just get right into it. So the first one is going to be a pitcher fantasy score. It's going to be Logan Webb at 33.5. Now, over on Patreon, I did give this play at 32.5. So let me know in the comments if you guys are part of Patreon and you did get it at 32.5 here. But for this video, I am going to be playing it for this YouTube video here at 33.5. I still like it for Logan Webb. He's just been pitching extremely well. 4 of his last 5 he's gone over on this, including his last 2 starts before the All-Star break. 51 versus Seattle and 67 against Colorado. And again, he hasn't pitched in 8 days, so he's had a very, very nice rest here. Should be fired up, ready to go. We know Logan Webb will pitch deep into games. He has a very long leash, one of the longest leashes in baseball, in my opinion, as far as just Gabe Kapler letting him continue to pitch. We take a look at this matchup here. There is a rain chance here, San Francisco versus Cincinnati. If we take a look here over at Roto-Grinders, again, Roto-Grinders, MLB weather, they do a great job. I don't know who writes these up. I think Kevin Roth. He does a great job here breaking down. So you can see a rain is possible anytime, but there is an increasing chance for rain late in the game. So he's expecting rain late in the game. I do think based on what the weather is potentially looking like here, 69% chance of rain with some 79 degrees with winds right to left coming 7 miles per hour here. So it should be pitcher-friendly weather, in my opinion, especially if there's some light drizzle here. Definitely will help the pitchers here. But taking a look at Logan Webb more specifically, we take a look at his fantasy score game log this season. He's actually gone over this, like I said, 4 of his last 5, but he has not gone over this 5 of his last 6 starts here, and his pitch pretty decent on the road. We take a look at his last start on the road versus Toronto. Obviously, Toronto doesn't strike out a ton, high-powered offense, but had 40 and 40 back-to-back both games on the road versus the Dodgers and the St. Louis Cardinals, and then had 61 fantasy down here against the Milwaukee Brewers at Milwaukee as well. But we take a look at like some of these misses, right? Against Baltimore, he finished with 34 fantasy, and had the loss in that game and gave up 3 earned runs. Still finished with 34, which still would clear this 33.5 pitcher fantasy score line. We take a look at some odds here for Logan Webb, right? He's at minus 268 on Caesars to go over 17.5 pitching outs. So that's 18 pitching outs here, minus 268 to go over that. He's at minus 167 on Caesars as well to get at least 6 strikeouts tonight over 5.5. Under 2.5 runs, some plus odds here, over 1.5 walks, minus 133. What else do we got here? I guess that seems to be all of them here. But for Logan Webb, he's going to pitch innings, right? Look at this, 20, 18, 21, 21. Like, he's good for, I think, at least 18 innings tonight. And the Reds just haven't been hitting the ball that well since the All-Star break, right? In that 3-game series that they just had. The Reds, since the All-Star break, versus right-handers, highest strikeout percentage in baseball, 39.1 K strikeout percentage, as well as the lowest batting average in baseball, the lowest OBP, the lowest slugging, and the lowest OPS since the All-Star break. So which really helps, I think, in my opinion, for Logan Webb. I definitely think, obviously, the Reds are, if you take a look at like the season long, middle to like slightly above average team as far as versus righties, but since the All-Star break, they've been really struggling. We take a look at starting right-handed pitchers fantasy score game log versus the Reds, and in that series versus Milwaukee, we had I don't know who pitched this game, had 67 fantasy. I think this was Corbin Burns. Corbin Burns went 6 innings, no earned runs, 13 strikeouts. I believe this game was, let's see who this was. I want to say this was Freddie Peralta. I could be wrong. This was Freddie Peralta. 6 innings. He went 6 innings, no earned runs, 6 Ks, and then I think in this matchup here, 23 fantasy, he only went 5.2, gave up 3 earned runs, still had 5 strikeouts, This game, I don't know who this is for the Brewers, honestly, guys. Adrian Hauser, who's not even close to the pitcher that Logan Webb is in this matchup. I think it's a great spot for Logan Webb at 33.5. Just seems a little bit too low for him. He had 2 elite starts here before the All-Star break. He's pitching extremely well. We know the Giants will throw him 100-plus pitches. I like Logan Webb over 33.5 fantasy score tonight. The second play here is going to be a hitter prop, and I'm going to go with another super hot player right now. Again, pause. Mookie Betts over 8.5 hitter fantasy score here tonight against the Baltimore Orioles. We take a look at Mookie. Again, so this includes the All-Star game here, this one. But if you don't include that, he's averaging 11.2 fantasy, which again, obviously adds in this 25 fantasy point game he had against the Mets, but had 8, 25, and 7 fantasy score over his last 3 games since the All-Star break. But before the All-Star break was on an absolute heater and definitely has shown that continuing it into the second half. Before the All-Star break, you guys, in the series against the Pirates and the Angels, he had 14, 39, and 18 fantasy points. He had 23 here against Pittsburgh. So if you add that all in, 23, 14, considering, right, literally since July 4th, 30.9, 18.4, 23, 14, 39, 18, 8, 27, and 7. He's had at least 7 fantasy points in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of his he's had at least 7 fantasy points in 7 of his last 8 games. Okay. Now Mookie Betts, he is hitting the ball extremely well. We take a look at some splits here since July. This one. I want to look at this one. Now my computer's lagging on me again. This is why we do these in one shot, guys. All right, well, let's just take a look at this. He's facing Grayson Rodriguez, who hasn't pitched. Okay, I'm giving you guys this info here. Grayson Rodriguez hasn't pitched since May 26th, so he's obviously going to be on a very short. But in that month of May that Grayson Rodriguez did pitch, again, right-handed pitcher, he was a high-level prospect here. Grayson Rodriguez, in the month of May, for pitchers that pitched 20-plus innings, Grayson Rodriguez, the most home runs per 9 innings. This is all starting pitchers in baseball. The most home runs per 9 innings, the highest batting average to opponents, as well as the up here, upper echelon as far as walks go, 9.4 walks per game, but most home runs per 9 innings, and allowed the highest batting average to opponents of starting pitchers that pitched 20 plus innings in the month of May, which was his last start. He hasn't pitched literally hasn't pitched in over 2 months. It's a smash spot for Mookie Betts in the entire Dodgers lineup tonight. We take a look at some odds here for Mookie Betts as well. To go over, to score 1 run, right? He's at minus 150, minus 170 on FanDuel to score a run tonight. Also, 2.5 hits, runs, plus RBIs. It's actually plus odds here to go over 2.5 hits, runs, plus RBIs. But I wanted to show here, this is over on Outlier. Again, by the way, you guys, here's the Logan Webb on Outlier as well. 7-day free trial on Outlier, you guys, if you use the link at the top of the description of this video. Again, the best research tool in all of sports betting, in my opinion. We take a look at this. Look at the green for Mookie Betts over his last 10 games, or even over his last 20. A ton of green here with his hits, runs, plus RBIs. So many ways for Mookie Betts to get this fantasy score up here. But I wanted to go back here and take a look at Mookie Betts specifically. And this is Fangraphs website, by the way, you guys. Let's just look at players. I want to look at standard. Hold on, let me do some filters here. Quick splits. So batting versus right-hander. Let's just do batting versus right-handers, right? Hitters versus right-handers let's go to since July 1st for Mookie Betts, right? And let's just do that. Let's just clear not batters. So versus right-handers since July 1st to date with we'll do this with a minimum plate appearances of, let's do at least 35, right? With at least 35 plate appearances since July 1st, we go to OPS. Mookie Betts has the highest OPS in baseball since July 1st of all batters in baseball with at least 35 plate appearances. 1.381 OPS, you guys. Mookie Betts is hitting also 405 since July 1st. Shout out to Cody Bellinger, by the way. Shout out former Dodgers, Justin Turner, and Cody Bellinger. Absolutely raking as of late. I mean, Corey Seager here as well. I mean, look at these former Dodgers guys. Again, I'm a Dodger fan, if you guys didn't know that. Corey Seager, Mookie Betts, Justin Turner, Cody Bellinger, all the top 8 hitters in baseball since July 1st. But again, Mookie Betts here, extremely high, 17.3% walk percentage as well. We know he can get on base. He doesn't swing and miss a ton. hitting the ball extremely well, you guys. Highest OPS in baseball since July 1st of players with 35 plate appearances here. Facing an absolute smash spot, you guys. 7.35 ERA pitcher here tonight. Grayson Rodriguez, I think if he gets on base, there's a ton of bats in that Dodger lineup that can put him around. I like Mookie Betts over 8.5 fantasy. So here's the 2 plays here for this YouTube video. MLB player props on PrizePicks. Logan Webb over 33.5 fantasy. Mookie Betts over 8.5 hitter fantasy. Drop a like on this video, guys. Hit that subscribe button. And as always, let's cash.